Okay, so I'd love to bring you down to the mat now for some sideline practice. Some of you might want to have your blanket, some of you might want to have a cushion or a pillow. We're going to start on the right hip. So let yourself, of course, come down onto that right hip. And there's so many ways you can sideline. You can have your right arm under the ear, but remember to pull the armpit away from the hip and lengthen your back as if your back is against the wall. So when we ask our bodies to line up at the back of the mat, there is a good reason. It's all about finding self-care and finding the best alignment. You might like to cradle the head. That will put the neck into a slightly different position, as you know, but just find the best one for you, or you've got your head on the yoga block, and then pull up under the right side of the waist and create an environment for strong obliques. The legs can extend towards the diagonal front corner of the mat. They can be long to the back corner, but remember not to pitch those legs behind your pelvis. So they can be anywhere along this line, and you can even have the bottom leg bent if you prefer, just a soft bottom leg. I think that's where I might start today with this demo. So line up your hips and lengthen that top leg, and then point the toes. So we've got the left leg super long, waist is in, shoulders are down, top arm can be resting or in front, and then slide that top leg forward as if it's gliding on a table. Flex the foot powerfully and gently or strongly drive that leg back to the start position. It may even come behind you in hip extension, but do not rock those hips, please. So that left hand on the hip is really valuable. Breathe, connect, forward point, flex, reverse, forward, flex back, breathe in, breathe out, keep your breath flowing. Know your own range. So ideally, you bring that leg forward in line with your hip. So you've got this L shape from body to heel, but your leg might come halfway, and that is absolutely fine. So please, no forcing, no straining, just moving in and out of this with equal effort on the forward and the backward motion. 6 or 8 is good. And then refresh your side body. Flex that heel, literally drive that heel long out of your hip. And maybe again here your range raises just kind of like 5 or 10 centimeters away. But remember that if you take that leg too high, you might roll a little onto the belly, and you want to keep control. And this is a slightly faster movement. Imagine you've got a pile of books, top of that left thigh, and you're moving up and squeezing down, or you're pulsing up, and you'll start to feel strong Pilates energy, muscular around that gluteal, supporting. So notice your low back. You might want to put the back palm onto that low back and just double check that it is not too curved. I'm not in any way advocating a flat back. I'm simply saying just be aware of your whole body, what is happening in the ribs. Try not to let your belly just flop onto that mat. You're going to start feeling those muscles really, really tone. Now, look towards that left foot now and turn it up towards the sky. So even you can look towards your knee, you can let that foot go quite floppy and soft. So turn your hip down, turn your hip out. So here at the hip, as you turn the knee, turn the ankle, turn the leg, you might want to notice how easy that is to rotate, and it turns a little or less or more, and then let the knee slightly point up, point the foot, again draw out of the waist energy or access that, and then glide the leg up into what would be quite an open stretch position. Maybe the angle comes a little bit forward, and maybe it's okay to hold the leg and draw it in and just pause in a lovely side lying hip opener. You might feel you need to release, bend the knee, open out. So you're rotating the thigh outwards and then lengthening, lengthening. So if this is tough for you this morning, let it be more of a moving action. If you like this pose movement, then just stay steady, hold and enjoy. And then keeping that length, reach the leg away, again reset those hips stacking and circle forward as if there's a grapefruit, side circle. Squeeze and engage enough on that lower gluteal. Pull again in through the belly, 5 circles forward, 5 or 6, and 5 or 6 backwards. Really aim for glossy action, and if the ear is on the arm, then your face is forward and you want to be prioritizing the length of the spine from the crown to the tail. It's quite good to be as relaxed as possible as you find those circles, and then let that left leg rest. Bend the knee, reach the left hand towards the outside edge of your left foot. And first of all, that's just a really comfortable, soft elongation of the quad muscles. But then you might feel you want to draw the leg back. You might even push the foot into the hand, creating almost this little side-lying bow shape. And just really what I'd love you to do is be in a place where that works for you. So the heel may come towards your backside, and that might work better. It might even feel better if the leg is resting. What we know is if we bring the knee forward, you're in hip flexion, and that won't be creating that space over that frontal hip. So for a while here, you'll be out of Pilates neutral and just pausing to open up the front of that hip. Maybe moving a few times in and out of this position. And of course, kind of having a lovely cradle of those toes, curling those toes in. Let go of that when you're ready now and roll onto the front body. And pull your chest forward. Draw the torso into length and also lengthen once again through the feet and toes, and tuck the toes. And sort of run the feet into the mat, padding through the top toes, and then lengthen the feet, kind of tap the feet and toes. You can hear that noise because mine are tapping onto the wooden floor. Lengthen again, and make sure the legs go together and squeeze together, and then they come apart, hip wide. Place the hands around the sides of the face, lengthen the crown, and spread the palms. Inhale, and as you exhale, press and start to lift the chest, and maybe you will feel happy to move into Cobra, which is a yoga position that is lovely for the foundation of the legs and for the space in your spine. Option, of course, would to bring your elbows down under the shoulders and remain here in Sphinx. Check in with the head and neck and try to find a friendly complementary position for the head and neck. And try not to collapse and crush the shoulders into the ears. So really enjoy that feeling of muscular energy in the back bend. And then open out the elbows. And as you lay your chest down, create some more space. Just literally pull those ribs away, and then reach the arms back, palms towards the sky, long spine, long crown, look at that mat. Float your legs just enough so the thighs clear, and then we'll pulse those arms again. for 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Spread the fingers and pulse. 2, 4, 5, 6. Keep that arrow dart position secure. And after 10 seconds, set 10, rest. Maybe the right ear comes to the mat. You can tuck the toes again. You can rest the feet. Inhale, exhale, enjoy the breath. And then turn the other cheek. Turn to rest on your other cheek. Offer a full round of breath. And then bend your knees and maybe bring the feet and ankles together and just roll the legs left and right. And at this point, it's quite good to center the head. So bring the pillow palms in, forehead down. And as you roll, roll really playfully, roll all the way over. Literally, if you want to roll to the side, yeah? Just roll, roll, roll. Massage. Sometimes you find that the legs come apart, that's absolutely fine. And something else that feels quite good is to just cross the legs in and out. Yes, I'm just creating a little scissor on the legs, going inwards, outwards. Interesting to feel your response in the hips when you use this crisscross action. Let's press. Hands under the shoulders, curl the toes, and lift into plank. And of course, walk into your plank if necessary, adjust your plank. Push the earth away, squeeze the thighs together, and then roll onto the outside edge of your right foot. Remember, you can still keep both hands down. Push into the outer fascia of the right foot. You can step your left foot in front with the knee over the ankle. You can scissor the leg, or you can stack. And then pause, lift hips, breathe. If you want to come into a side-lying energy, squeeze through that midline, sustain that position for as long as you can without straining, and then reach into your shell, also known as yoga child's pose. Inhale, exhale. And we will slide from seated onto that left hip now. Pay attention in the same way that you did on the other side. So setting up that lovely extended leg. It is now the right leg, pointing. Maybe this arm is resting. And you're coming into Pilates front kick. Flex. And release back, and you can move back a little bit, or just come to the neutral position. Pointing and flexing. And your pace and rhythm is important, but it's also really important that you notice the lifting of the waist, or let's say the cinching of the waist, and that your leg glides and slides across an imaginary table, and not that this is allowing you to move the hip from the pelvis. So Pilates method, of course, includes a lot of isolation. Now, if you need to bend the knee and rest, lying on your side, this is lovely, just softening. But the idea is that you build up the strengthening. So that femur bone is in a sea of hip muscles, and that is a strong support there. 5 or 6 of those, or even 8 or 10, and then really lengthen the hip out. So you're creating this long line of energy, kind of books on the top thigh. Draw the kneecaps and hips so the quad at the front is really secure, and start to lift and lower with control. Now, if both legs are firm and straight, the bottom leg is also flexed, the bottom ankle foot. Are you breathing? Every time you exhale, is a chance to pull that belly back in and secure your postural strength. And remember that if you take that leg way too high, you will probably find you are falling forwards or backwards. And some of us like to pulse this one, you know, like a lot faster. Don't mind if you do that, but please make sure you don't lose your technique. Now, point your foot or let that top foot shake away and let your top hip turn in and out. So you are going in and down, so the knee sort of points down to the mat and then up and out. So let that roll happen, it's like a little half roll, and then raise the leg, out turn the knee, let the leg come, maybe it comes forward and you feel enough, maybe that leg can come towards your ear and you catch the leg and support how that feels. And the other option is to bend, even bend a little bit more the bottom leg, and then open, lengthen. Really have that lovely pointed foot toe so that you are finding an unraveling of those muscles in the hip and the groin. Rearrange the bottom leg if necessary. So you've got the diagonal angle or that sort of line at the back of the mat, and then small to medium hip circles with an arrow leg. Breathing and turning. And make sure you're really hugging on to these muscles. That doesn't mean there's a grip. And if you feel it's more suitable to fully lie down, try to create glossy circles. So if your big toe was a pencil or pen, you'd be painting a beautiful glossy circle. Breathing all the way through. You know, again, you can have approximately 5 or 6, or you could go for 8 or 10. It's your choice and it's your pace. Breathe and possibly rest the leg. Soften the tissues. And then take hold of the right toes. Reach up. You could even come onto your elbow, if that helps, or you want to. And cosset, cradle, and find the right foot. And draw that thigh back. Maybe, again, it rests on the mat. And perhaps you bring the heel to your buttock. Bending your elbow. Please rest into the breath. Just do your best to find a position that is complementary to your body this morning. And I have found that today with this one, it feels better for me to take my hand towards the shin and ankle and draw back there, because that creates a little bit more shoulder extension, opening out the chest, which is another one of our practices today, is the arm and shoulder extension. Giving yourself enough time for the body to appreciate that. And then heel out, roll onto the front body, pull that chest forward, run the feet into the mat, tucking the toes, press the hands under the shoulders, drive the body up into plank, or you could even offer a down face dog at this point, with the knees bent or the legs extended. Just a lovely shoulder opener and a whole body balance. But we're going to come back to plank, and by the way, you can put your knees down. Maybe take the left hand half a hand forward. Clearly come onto the outside edge of your left foot. You could step the right foot in front like a scissor. Important to rotate that chest. Turn the trunk right onto the sky or over the ear. Put the right hand down, adjust. Perhaps that right foot wants to come in front of the navel, lifting the hips. So there is time to create some different plank experiences and to sustain the power of the muscles, joints and bones and then pop the knees down. And once again, you might be just coming into kneeling pose, or you might want to offer yourself a shell stretch. So I'm going to stay in kneeling now, but you may prefer to have your legs out in front. And just find seated side bend, kneeling seated side bend. A few times. Letting the hips also travel, so starting to let my hips move to the left as my body moves to the right, sliding the buttocks to the right, just offering a few repeats. And then if you were also kneeling, please come to sit on your sit bones now, draw the flesh away, and lift the body tall. Hold the backs of those thighs. Oh, that's a bit of a loud slap, wasn't it? Hold the backs of the thighs with the palms, or wrap your arms underneath. And inhale as you exhale. C-shaped curve. So draw the belly in and back as you create this little tug of war, gliding back. Breathe in and sit tall. Maybe you hold your wrists. Exhale and scoot back. Breathing in, sit tall. You can even add in the arms coming up and overhead, and then on the exhale, scoop it through. Lift, inhale, exhale, scoop. And then glide and align yourself back into standing. Reach the arms out into a T shape. Shoulders down, good feet. Inhale, exhale, and full rotation. Inhale to center. Exhale, full rotation. Center, bring the palms together, align with your heart center, or just in line with the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Open out. Exhale. One more. Exhale, bring the palms in. Have a really wonderful day.